Morning, everybody. It's Gary here. Hope you're having a decent week. Mine's been pretty good. It's always good when you're not working. Um, for those who don't know or just starting to follow me, I'm retired. I retired from a company after 36 years 3 weeks ago. It's a beautiful thing. I get to sleep in every fucking morning. Stay up as late as I want, watch shows on TV that I was missing for years and years and years because I had to go to work. Anyways, so the subject today, because we don't want to get into all that, I don't want to rub it in people's faces that are still working that I'm not, is restaurant etiquette when you're getting food sent to your table that you don't like. Maybe it wasn't cooked correctly. Maybe it wasn't cooked to your standards. Or maybe you just ordered it wrong, but to the waitress or waiter. Be that as it may, it's a life lesson. If you haven't learned it yet, I'm going to tell you, because before I got into retail, at a young age, I was a busboy. A couple different times, worked a couple of restaurants when I was a kid. Saw some stuff behind the scenes, behind the glory and the beauty of a nice restaurant, the ambiance and all that shit. Behind the scenes, all the kitchens look the same to me. Anyway, whether it be a greasy spoon restaurant or a 5-star restaurant, I've seen it all. And the one thing they all have in common is this. If the waiter or waitress is sent back from the dining room after delivering food to somebody because it wasn't cooked to their specifications, and the kitchen staff is busy anyway, they're trying to keep up with orders, they don't have time to take another order back that was already sent out. So let me that was the preview, so let me get to the front page. The front page is this. The waiter goes out to a table. Somebody says, "Sir, oh yes, sir, waiter. And it's usually someone who feels like they're entitled. Generally speaking, it's been my experience, because I waited on tables for a short period of time, but I was a busboy for a lot of them. It's the ones that are entitled, that probably went to a country club at a young age, or think that their shit doesn't stink, that they're better than most peasants and human beings that walk the earth. Sir, you have a second?" And they have a different way of talking. "Sir, would you please come here?" That's how they talk. Like the Grey Poupon commercial. "Pardon me, sir, do you have any Grey Poupon?" And for those too young to remember that, just look up Grey Poupon commercial and Rolls Royce. It's pretty funny. Anyway, the waiter comes back to the table, because he's already in the weeds taking other orders from people, and they have to come back to a table he just delivered the food to. "I asked for this prime rib to be medium well. It's medium to medium rare. I didn't ask for this prime rib to be like this. Take it back. Have it fixed. I'll wait. I'll eat my potatoes." This is a true story. This is a true story. I was living in a resort town in 1984. I left Cincinnati in late 1984, early 1985, and I got a job in a resort town on the East Coast. This is the true story. All right? And I'm a waiter at this restaurant. And this guy has just sent his prime rib back. It wasn't my prime rib. It was one of the guys that I was on the floor with. I watched it happen in my eyes, in living color. Sent the prime rib back. So the guy gives it to my buddy, who's another waiter, slaps some rib on him, and goes, takes it back to the kitchen, says to the cook, he goes, "Hey guys, I know you're super busy, and they are. If you've never worked in a restaurant, let me tell you a little bit about it. Let me give you a backstory. The kitchen is flying. I mean, it's a well-oiled machine. You got the dishwashers here. You got the sous chef there. You got the grill chef here. You got the prep cooks over here. You got the salad guys over there. It's a well-oiled machine. It's a very orchestrated, perfectly oiled machine. And if you throw a wrench in it somewhere, it fucks everything up. And you don't want to fuck anything up. Whether it be a salad not prepared properly, the sous chef didn't get something done right, or the grill chef in this particular story is the grill chef. There's two of them. Two grill chefs. And they're in the weeds. In front of them, they got a whole list of tags, of orders, in chronological orders that they got to pick off, and they use greasy tongs, by the way, and they grab the order with the tongs and look at them, and then they throw it in the grill. So they got a system out there. And then when someone brings, a waiter or a waitress brings back a piece of meat or a piece of chicken, in this case a piece of prime rib, and it wasn't cooked properly, that fucks everything up. The cook is like, oh, it's gonna fucking slow me down. This particular day, this cook, he was a good cook. He was an old guy, big fat fuck, smoked a cigarette while he's cooking. Those are the days, man, back in the 80s. There was no health department codes back then. And if they were very laxed. Smoking a cigarette, he had a beer going, and I'm not lying. The bartender, to keep him happy, chucked him beers. And he cooked better when he was drinking. They sent him back to his prime rib. I'm not lying. This is a true story. He took the tongs. He said to the chef's name was Gino. I'm not going to give you a last name. Little Boston boy came into the Cape Cod to do some work for the summer. So Gino was probably in his 40s. Big fat fuck. Anyway, funny guy. He said, hey, Gino, this steak, he wanted it medium well, and it came out medium rare. Gino, I know you're busy. You know I'm busy. Leave the plate right here. Leave the plate. And he had a Boston accent. Leave the plate right here. Hold on. Hey, come on back in 5 minutes. I'll take care of you. Go on. Meanwhile, he takes the tongs. And the tongs were his tool. And clamped the prime rib with the tongs. And flung it like a frisbee across the kitchen. It hit this greasy floor and slid to a stop. And I looked at him and said, hey, Gino, don't worry about it. I'm going to let it marinate over there on the floor, okay? I got shit I got to do. Now go back to your tables, Gary. Mind your own business. Mind your own business, Gary. That's how these Bostonians talk, right? So I leave. I go out there and I said to the guy that his steak was on the ground. I said, hey, Gino just flung that guy's prime rib on the floor. He goes, don't worry about it, Gary. Don't worry about it. Gino knows best. He's going to take care of me. So 5 or so minutes go back. Excuse me, please. 5 minutes or better goes by, and I gotta see the story. I gotta see what's going on back there, And I'm busy with my own tables, but at this point, I gotta see the saga unfold. So I sneak back in the kitchen, pretending I'm getting something, and I look back there, and the steak is still on the fucking floor. A big hunk of meat still on the floor. People walking around it, over it, getting to the go. So it was behind where the chef was, and then the other side, if you walk 3 or 4 more feet, it was to the back door to throw garbage out to a dumpster, and that's where that steak sat. And so the guy that had the steak brought, the waiter that was handling the steak walked, hey, Gino, you got my steak yet? Come on, man. And Gino goes, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Wipes his paws off on his apron, his dirty, greasy apron, grabs his tongs, his whole thing was his tongs. Walked over, bent his fat ass down, picked up that steak off the greasy, dirty floor, dragged it through some hot au jus sauce. Now, for those who don't know what that is, au jus sauce, it's au jus is a packet of brown dust, and they heat it up with water, and it gives the steak flavor, but it can make it darker most of the time, and it's hot as fuck. I mean, it's in a boiling pot of water that's au jus sauce. He dragged it through the au jus sauce once, slapped it back on the plate, took his dirty apron and cleaned the edges of the plate to make it look like it's clean, yet it's a dirty fucking apron. Here you go. Take it out. Done with this bullshit. I got work. I got things I gotta do. You know, he's doing this shit. The kid takes the steak out that was sitting on a floor for 5 minutes. True story. True story. Handed it to the customer. Here you are, sir. I'm sorry about the wait. My most humble apologies. Enjoy your meal. The guy goes, thank you. Next time, get your job right the first time, all right? Thank you. He starts eating it. And no complaints. He's eating it with the au jus sauce. Fixed the problem. Brought it from, medium rare to medium. Just by appearance-wise, not totally cooked. I mean, if you order a fucking prime rib in any restaurant, they're supposed to be rare in the center. For those who don't know, I'm going to educate you really quickly. The heel end of a prime rib roast is generally the only end, is the smaller end. So the prime rib is shaped like a football almost. But not really like a football. So a half of a football. And it cones down a little bit, but not really. I mean, it's kind of hard to describe. It really is. Because they all look differently. But they have what they call the heel end. And that's the end. That's a little thinner, a little bit more dense. And that heel end is next to the bone. And it generally gets more well done. Well, that's the first piece of meat that goes. It's probably the tenderest piece, although it may be more well done. Most customers want that piece first. And what's left is the prime rib part. I wouldn't say most customers like that, but it's usually the first to go. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I can't speak intelligently on that. But the prime rib, the main body of the prime rib is usually medium to medium rare. Because you don't want to overcook a prime rib. It'll be like eating rubber. You're like, if you got dentures, fuck it, you're done. You can't, there's no way you can eat prime rib if you got dentures. Or false teeth, no. And if you do have dentures or false teeth, you can't take, grandma, grandpa can't take their teeth out at the table and gum it down. Hey, Margaret, I gotta gum it down. The gums are bleeding. You can't do it with a prime rib. It just can't be done. So if you're not going to be fat, so if the guy comes back and he hands him his prime rib and it's not done the way he's going to eat it, he's not going to send it back a second time unless you're, well, I can't use this guy's name. He's family. I saw a family member send a piece of pork chop back at a restaurant locally in Cincinnati. I'm not going to say who it is. I don't want to do that. The pork chop was sent to our table. And someone I know, and this was a big party of us. It was like 13 people, a couple from out of town. The pork chop wasn't done correctly. And sent it back. And we were at a pretty nice restaurant in Cincinnati. I know I fast forwarded, but that was the Cape Cod experience. That was pretty cool. What he flung the prime rib across the floor. It made that slap sound. Slid across the dirty fucking slimy floor and sat there. And then fast forward a couple more years into Cincinnati where I was at another table and I was present at the table eating. And someone at our table sent a pork chop. The first mistake was ordering a fucking pork chop at a place that they sold burgers and steaks. And I think the restaurant put a pork chop on there just to give it a little bit of variety. But, being in the business as I was for a while, I mean, before I got into retail, to be a retail meat cutter, I worked in the restaurant business. If I wasn't turning wrenches on cars or doing body work on cars, because I had a couple different things I did when I was a kid. I waited on tables or I was a busboy. I mean, I stayed busy. And the funniest stories were working at restaurants. So the shit they do behind the scenes, man. When you're dealing with people's food, you got to be super sweet when you go to a restaurant. I mean, I don't think they did anything that was going to make them sick. I mean, when they poured the odd juice sauce all over the prime rib, any bacteria picked up on the floor was killed. But I mean, still, it's just the whole idea that he did it. He give a fuck. Give me another beer. Hey, Chuck Gino another beer. He's going overheating now. I took Gino that night. I know I'm going back and forth. I'll finish Cape Cod in a minute. This cook Gino would just slam them down. 8, 10 beers and keep on cooking. But fast forward now to Cincinnati. I was at a party where someone took a pork chop back. And it was a stuffed pork chop. You stuff a pork chop, you're baking it. And it came back to the table, and the person at my table said, "This isn't cooked properly." He was being a real asshole. All right? There's one person viewing this right now that knows exactly who it was. He was a guy I worked with in 3 or 4 different stores. His first name begins with an R. He knows exactly who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to expose it on this podcast. Sent it back. And this person was highly pissed off that he had to send his food back. It wasn't done correctly. And I told him, I said, I wouldn't have done that. I told him at the table, I wouldn't have done that. My experience in the restaurant industry, I wouldn't have done that. You mind your business and eat your steak. I'll handle this. They don't know who they're dealing with. Exactly what this person said. The pork chop came back like 3 minutes later. Here you are, sir. My most humble apologies. I looked at the spectacle on his plate. It looked like someone had dredged out the stuffing, slapped it on the floor or wherever, put new stuffing in there, and the edges were a little bit more brown. So that person at my table was taking a few more bites. Still wasn't done correctly. I thought, don't send it back. At this point, don't send it back. Waiter. I know you're busy, but I have to say, this is still not done correctly. Send it back, please. I wanted it this way. And I don't know. I forget at the time how it wasn't supposed to be done, but he sent it back for a second time. And it came back the next time it came back. So he waited about 5 minutes. Meantime, we're almost done with our meals, and he's waiting. He doesn't give a fuck. I'm getting my food correctly, or I'll tell them. Royalty. Or royalty wannabe. So it comes back and it looks like the once perfectly shaped stuffed pork chop that was on his plate. It was a beautiful display it was a nice looking pork chop, but probably was edible at the time it hit his plate the first time. But in his eyes, oh no, did you know who I am? Mentality. They don't realize who I am. Bring it back to me the way I want it. Oh, trust me. This happened. So it came back the third time. This pork chop came back the third time. And now on the plate, what before our eyes, all of us to see, it looked like a Klingon battleship from Star Wars. It was all jacked up on one side, and looks like someone stuck a fork in the bottom and jacked up that side, and there was hardly any stuffing at the top, and it was like over butterflied. Have you ever seen a pork chop butterflied? It's like a little slit in the middle and opens up like a little clam. Like a little clam. It's really pretty, but it looked like a Klingon battleship. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch some old episodes of Star Wars. The Klingons had fucked up faces and everything, but the battleships were all jacked up. It looked like a Klingon battleship. It was all jacked up. It looked like an abortion. It looked like a head-on collision on I-71. And the person at my table's eyeballing it. Like this. With a smirk. I'll have another scotch. Sir, waiter, hey, waiter. May I have another scotch, please? Thank you. As he proceeds to eat this God awful mess on his plate. Didn't say another word. And I'm just wondering, when you got home, I'm sure within 2 or 3 hours after you got home from dinner, you had the flying shits. If you didn't have the flying shits and the dreadful drip and the foul bowel, and you weren't blowing up your toilet from whatever they did to that pork chop, then you were feeling sick the next day. And I was almost hoping you could have the flying shits, the Mexican two-step. The kind of shit where you got to clamp your ass cheeks shut and hope and pray that you get to the toilet before you shit your pants. That kind of shit. Trust me. Hold on, please. It's 5 o'clock in the morning here where I'm this morning. I mean, I'm an early riser. Sometimes I like to sleep in, but today is 5. I mean, I woke up and I was like, I just feel like recording. I record in the morning. I can't do it in the afternoon. Trust me. I've tried recording in the afternoon. I don't have my brain is once I've been awake for a while, my creativity is gone. I've tried recording in the afternoon. I can't do it. I'm like this. I'm gonna get to some of my notes. I can't do it. I wing it first thing in the morning. So what you're seeing is the AM Gary. Yeah. But you just don't send food back. And this might be a life lesson. Trust me. If you go to a restaurant and order a burger, this is a great example. I mean, burgers, you can't fuck up a good burger, right? You just can't. You go to any restaurant, anywhere, from coast to coast, get a burger. It's gonna say, if you go to a place that's not even a starred restaurant, like 5-star, 4-star, 3-star. I worked in a 3-star restaurant as a waiter. I never worked at a 5-star restaurant because I just don't have the money to eat there, nor would I be interested in eating there, nor would I work somewhere like that, because at the time, in my early 20s when I was doing that, I had hair down to here, and I didn't wear it in a ponytail. It was all, and my hair's curly. It was down to here, and I wore a mullet. Oh, I miss the mullets. And for the guys that wore the mullets, they were so much fun, weren't they? You just cut it really close and just shave it close to the head, and then you got this big old bush of fucking mess back there. I love the mullet. As a matter of fact, my hair's short now, but a couple of years ago it was a little longer. And I said to the guy that cuts my hair, I said, hey man, thought about doing a mullet again. What do you think? He goes, Gary, I'm not giving you a fucking mullet. I'm not doing that. Those things are outdated. I said, yeah, but athletes are wearing them. Because they're athletes. That's why. The hockey players mostly are wearing mullets. It's cool. I think they look good. I wish they'd come back in style. But they aren't back in style. I got off track. We're not talking about hair. But you go to a burger joint. Any restaurant in America, coast to coast. Anywhere you go, they got burgers on the menu. Get a burger. You can't fuck it up. And don't ask. If someone says, because they're always going to ask you. I don't give a fuck where you go. They're always going to say, how would you like that cooked? Don't tell them you want it medium rare. Because it's not going to happen. They slap the burger on the grill. They leave it on there with all the other fucking burgers. They slap cheese on there. They get the buns on there. They flip them up and down. They're going to toast the bun. Sometimes they don't toast the bun. It's a production line back there in a restaurant. Like the Dust Fairies blasted me again last night, them fuckers. Anyway, and I've been to restaurants here in Cincinnati. I go to a couple of, and I have a couple of favorite places I like to go. One, I go every Friday. Every Friday. And people live in Cincinnati, I'm not going to give you the name of the place, because if I do that, everyone's going to want to go. I'm not going to do that. It's a nice hidden secret. People that live in the area of Cincinnati I live in that frequent this place, it's our little place. I'm not telling nobody. They do plenty of business. I'm not going to hurt them. They'd probably be pissed if I told everybody. But I like going there. They have a good burger. They got a great burger. Great ambiance, TVs everywhere. You watch the fucking Bengal game on Sunday. Who they bitches? So I mean, and I've taken friends to this place, and the waitress, They always say how you like that burger cooked. They gotta say it, you know. They shouldn't, but they do. And I took a guy there one time. Guy was in his 80s. I was gonna be a good. I was a do-gooder for a neighbor. And he goes, "Yeah, I'll have that burger medium." I'm thinking, not gonna come back medium. It's gonna come back well done, bro. Anyway, it came back well done, and he took one bite out of it. He was looking at it. It's not cooked correctly. I said, "Shut the fuck up and eat your burger. Who cares if it's cooked correctly? Fuck, just eat it. How's it taste? Well, it tastes pretty good. Then shut the fuck up and eat your burger." That's what I said to him. I'm a good neighbor, you know. Shut the fuck up and eat your burger. How are the fries cooked? Oh, they were good. Then shut up. Order another beer, for Christ's sake. Shut up. Don't ever do that in a restaurant that doesn't, you know. Do you go to McDonald's or a place like that and ask for that little patty? I want it to be medium rare. No, because they're going to give it to you well done. Everything's done well done. I don't go well done. There's a reason for it. If it's the more well done it's cooked, the less bacteria you got in there. Because they all have bacteria. You go to a nice restaurant, you get it medium, chances are it's not going to be. There won't be any bacteria. They got good refrigeration. They got a guy named Gino in the back slapping it around with some tongs and flipping it like a frisbee and drinking beers. Nah, not likely. Not in the 2000s. Black coffee with natural honey and nothing like it. Fuck that processed sugar. Anyway, yeah. So don't send food back. You're doing yourself a favor. And if you ever wonder, after being in any kind of restaurant, and getting something on the menu that doesn't really, when you go to a restaurant you've never been to, say to the waitress or waiter, "Hey, what's the most popular item? What's the most popular item on this menu? What's the best-selling item?" They're going to tell you. They're going to tell you the one that moves the best. Be that the burger, the fish and chips, or the Reuben sandwich, or the 9-inch pizza. If they give you a selection, get something like that. Get something because they're going to tell you what's good. They want a good tip. They want a good tip. They're going to tell you, they're going to give you 3 or 4 choices. Well, the people really like the soup. They like the soup of the day. A lot of people like that 9-inch pizza, that 9-inch cheese pizza. They sell like hotcakes. When you hear that word, sell like hotcakes, buy it. Because you know it's not sitting around back there. You know, most restaurants are going to have a list of shit on the menu. Don't order something exotic. Chances are it's been sitting around a while. And no one wants to throw shit in the garbage after having it ordered or having made it. They're going to get every bit of shelf life out of that piece of meat or piece of chicken or whatever it is on the menu that's odd. It's not going to say it's bad, but it's past its due time. They slap it in the oven or on the grill. It's not bad. I say due time. It's not as fresh as everything else that the waitress or the waiter just offered you as a suggestion. So it comes out to your plate. You eat it. I don't know what it is. Let's just call it the item number 43. But you got item number 43. You eat it. It's like, this. And I say, "Hey, so-and-so, how was that item?" He goes, it was all right, I guess. It was food. It filled me up. Yeah, it filled you up all right. And 24 hours later, you got a roll of toilet paper in your left hand, and then the right hand is grabbing a hold of the sink next to you and just squeeze. If you don't know what that is, it's when you're taking a shit so bad because you ate something really bad the day before. You're sweating profusely. Blowing it out. Spraying everything. Don't come in there. Stinks. Everyone knows that face. They're called rectum rockets. When you eat something that was just a little bit close to its due date because you wanted something different on the menu. You pay for it the next day. You better have good toilet paper too, absorbent kind too. I'm not going to go graphic on you. I could go graphic on you, but I'm not going to go there. Maybe in a few months when I start really getting my feet wet in this channel, because my mind just is, I'm a twisted individual. In a good way, though. I'm twisted in a good way. I know I said that before, but I'm in a good way. I just don't have a filter. I got to tell it like it is. And I'm just twisted. I'm the voice of reason. I speak from the real world. That's my whole thing. I speak from the real world. I don't. It's like, oh, what? The reserved person would be, honey, are you okay in there? Did you have to go number 2? Are you okay? Did you have to go number 2? You know, the good wife will say something like that. Did you have to do number 2? No, I'm dying in here. You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. So, the moral of the story is this. I know I went too long. I know I sidestepped. I sidestep a lot in stories. My mind just goes shooting this way and goes shooting that way, and everything kind of spins like a tornado in the center, and it shoots out my mouth. That's how I think. I mean, I'm just random. I dated a girl one time. She goes, man, random. Like, I can't help it, you know. Love me or leave me. So here I am doing this shit. So anyway, I'm done talking about this. We will continue with another subject another time. But I'm glad I was able to get that out there. Don't send food back. Ever. Eat it. And order the stuff that the waiter or the waitress offers as the top seller on the items on the menu. And you'll be fine. You'll be right as rain. You'll have a good meal. Don't order complex shit in the menu. And don't send food back. I hope we learned something today, people. Maybe I'm going to make your lives a lot easier. All right? If you don't want to risk it, then don't go out to eat. Cook at home. Make your own frozen pizza. Still have frozen pizza in the oven. Or cook your own chicken or burger. It's fun going out to dinner anyways. Trying new things. I'm glad we had this conversation today. You all have a fantastic weekend, and I'll catch up to you later. Peace out.